Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me for this week's spooky astro weather forecast. I'm Pix. This is for the week of Monday, October 24th through Sunday, October 30th. And this is one of the bigger weeks of the year in astrology weather. Here are 3 themes to watch for this week. Firstly, major wonkiness due to the eclipse at the beginning of the week. Secondly, a boost in inspiration and hope or drunkenness. Thirdly, expecting a switcheroo or a change of plans of some sort. Okay, and one more. Okay, there's 4 themes. Also, a boost in investigative skills and research skills. But overall, like I said, this is one of the bigger weeks of the year. We have the eclipse, and we have Mercury and Jupiter changing signs, as well as Mars stationing retrograde at the end of the week. So adjustments are a happening. I release weekly astrology forecasts with personalized rising sign horoscopes for my patrons every Sunday. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can go ahead and check the Patreon link in the description of the video all the way at the bottom. So the beginning of the week will bless us all with some eclipse wonkiness. In the early morning of Tuesday, October 25th, the new moon partial solar eclipse exacts at 2 degrees Scorpio. And eclipses are known for providing chaotic energy in general. And eclipses also inform of long-term major endings and major beginnings on some plane of your life. It's like the ending of one era and the beginning of another era happening at the same time. So the energy can be turbulent and strange, and it's not advised to do any new moon manifesting rituals unless you are very familiar with chaos magic. Try to be patient with any switcheroos or delays or whatever general wonkiness that comes up around the beginning of the week due to the eclipse weather. Eclipses are just chaotic vibes. But there's also plenty of dynamic vibes at the beginning of the week for whatever tasks have been stacking up on your plate lately. Mercury in Libra will trine Mars at 25 degrees Gemini and square Pluto at 26 degrees Capricorn until the middle of the week. So that'll supply some generative energy to the weekdays. And as long as you can get past the eclipse wonkiness, there is some productivity to be had. Research and application are both supported. Information gathering and reporting will have an extra boost of thoroughness through this week, and will lean on profound and weighty topics through Wednesday, October 26th. Expect some depth or intensity along with a strong drive provided for the first few days of the week. Again, if you can get past the eclipse wonkiness. So anxiety may be prominent through the weekdays, partly from Pluto, partly from the eclipse, and also from Mars beginning to station retrograde, slowing down to its glacial pace. Harness your patience and go with your gut this week. Mars is about to let a higher power take the wheel. When it stations retrograde, it's like a divine intervention, and you may find that it's a good idea to follow suit around the topics that are bringing you anxiety this week. Follow your intuition as much as you can and, surrender to the universe. The late night of Thursday, October 27th, or the early morning of Friday, October 28th, Jupiter retrogrades back into Pisces. Jupiter ingresses into Pisces, and we all end up drunk in a drunken state. Not really, though astrologers like to make jokes that Jupiter in Pisces is the drunk on hope ingress. So Jupiter will be co-present with Neptune again, and we all are shot with a bit of inspiration. This inspiration is a sliding scale from a small spark of inspiration to a deluded dream, the drunken hope. So the ingress at the end of the week is a welcome breath of fresh air, or I should say a welcome gulp of fresh water for most of us. Though reality may be a bit skewed in some way, creativity and moods are blossoming. So hopes, wishes, inspirations overflow in a certain plane of your life. Abundance and generosity flourish there. So there is something good to look forward to this week. Spirituality, faith, and intuition are all boosted with Jupiter back in Pisces. Jupiter will be in Pisces until December 20th, so there are a few months of this happy even if it kills me type of vibe. Sag and Pisces risings can expect some good luck and or a come up by the end of the week as their ruling planet is going back into its dignity. Saturday, October 29th, Mercury enters Scorpio right on time to hype up some Scorpio season vibes for Halloween weekend. The bimboification of Mercury is transformed into the gothification of Mercury. Dark, taboo, raw, or authentic topics become more of a focus. And again, profundity is in the air. Investigation and research skills are majorly boosted. If you need to do some work to figure something out, the astrology weather supports you in your researching. Intimacy is easier to access, so don't be surprised if you go a little deeper or deep more often than you usually do for the next couple weeks. Gemini rising, Virgo rising, and Scorpio risings will be feeling that shift the most. And Gemini and Virgo risings, now that I mention it, may feel extra anxious or rushed this week up until this point on Saturday. Mercury will be at the anaretic degree, so when it moves into Scorpio, there will be some sort of release around an anxiety or a rush or the need to get things done really quickly, or that you have no time to get the things done. That will ease over the weekend for the most part. But last but not least, the weekend ends with one of the stars of the year. Mars is at last stationing retrograde at 25 degrees Gemini on Sunday, October 30th. The day itself does not necessarily hold weighty significance compared to the days leading up to it, so there's nothing necessarily to fear or hype up for the day that it stations on Sunday. So Mars retrograde overall symbolizes a process of reorganizing priorities, or a review of how you take action towards the things that you want, a review of your true wants and desires, and in what ways can you act more as your most authentic self. I would be a bad astrologer if I didn't mention that Mars is a malefic planet, so it often brings up fears or challenges, the need for hard work, endings, or separations. Mars rules weapons and sharp things, like tools, knives, scissors, needles. So any of those types of topics are highlighted, like buying new kitchen knives or new kitchen stuff, cutting your hair, changing the way you look, learning to sew, learning to knit, getting a new tattoo. All of these things are supported. So building towards something, literally constructing something, is supported. Confrontations and disputes can arise, which Mars sees as opportunities to speak your truth, even if it's uncomfortable. Mars encourages rawness and realness. Gemini things like paperwork, technology, and travel may be up for some sort of restructuring, at least until Mars stations direct around January 12th of next year. Yes, you heard me correctly. It will be retrograde for the rest of the year. And it stations direct on January 12th at 8 degrees Gemini. So the last Mars retrograde was in Aries from September 9th, 2020 to November 13th, 2020. And as a Mars-ruled person, I actually ended up getting my life a bit more together during the last Mars retrograde. So the other Aries and Scorpio risings and Mars-ruled folks take some solace in knowing that the Mars retrograde doesn't necessarily indicate a setback, but rather symbolizes an adjustment of priorities more towards your authentic desires. It's common for Aries risings and Scorpio risings to be feeling some type of way about their identity at the time of the retrograde station, or for some sort of shift to happen internally with your inner world or with your core around this time. It's okay if you can't see the big picture, but maybe you see a small thread of it now, and that can be your little string of hope to see the big picture eventually. The weekend's astrology does paint the picture for a spooky Halloween, decorated with the scariest of props. Mars would love a remediation of cleverly decorating with things it likes, like blood, guts, and chainsaws and knives. A yassification from Mars for spooky season for Halloween. And so that's basically what's up this week for this forecast. Are you expecting anything to come up? Let me know in the comments. If you want to join a cool occult community full of chronically online mystics, you can chat with me and a bunch of other cool people in the 9th House Discord server. The link to join is in the description at the bottom. I release weekly personalized horoscopes for all the rising signs for my patrons every Sunday for the week. So if you're interested in learning what to expect this week or next week for your rising sign, check the Patreon link in the description of the video. It's at the bottom. See about it. I'm endlessly thankful for your support and for you being here. Comment below if you have any questions or need any clarification, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks again, and I will see you next week.